Team Brook fishing. This is Roy Brook. Little video we're going to do today. Myself. Reason I'm making this video, we're in a tackle shop over there, and some young lads were in, 18 to 20 odd year old. Obviously just starting off carping. I'm not going to name tackle shop, and they spent nearly £2 grand. And bloke in tackle shop were selling them all iron gear and saying they needed this, they needed that stuff. And obviously I know people at these tackle shops what run them and everything. I couldn't get involved at the time, but there's no need to be paying that kind of money for things when you're just starting off in tackling. If you're just getting into it, just a beginner, you don't need to pay that. So that's what this video is about. I hope it does help some people, even people what's been fishing a bit longer. It's my opinion. Everything's an opinion. The people what's got different opinions, but this is mine. So right, carp fishing, what's it all about for starters, and is it for you? So carp fishing for me is I'm 54. I've been fishing now for 40 years more, on and off. Obviously as a kid weren't constantly at it. Over the last few years really into it more, got back into it big time. I started off like most people do, as a lad, just fishing River Don near where I live, and catching gudgeon, minnows, perch, roach, working my way through a whole system, learning how to do it. And my first ever experience of a carp, I was very young, or about 8 year old, and we're down on canal, Sheffield Canal, and it was a red hot day, I'll never forget it. And I was laid down at the side of the canal, and there were some lily pads, and somebody must have thrown some bread in at some time feeding ducks, and I was just watching dragonfly, and there were these lilies, and this head just came up when I was a kid. What scared life out of me, but I found it absolutely fascinating. And it was a big carp, and it literally popped its head up, bang in front of mine, because I was very quiet, laid down, only a kid, and it came up to get this bread, and he lifted his head out of water. And even now, I look back and I think that carp must have been a big, well over 20 mark. Even with my experience now, it was a big carp, even though as a lad I didn't know what it were, and it scared life out of me, because it had an head as big as a pig. Do you know what I mean? And some people call carp pigs, don't they, because they're that big, and that's how big its head were. And I was like, whoa, but at the same breath I was excited. I saw its mouth open, big mouth like that, take bread, give me a look, almost a wink, went down. That was me hooked. From then I wanted to know what it were, found out it were a carp. How do I fish for these, how do I get them? So from a young age, me, that's the first experience of a carp I had, about 8 year old, and I've been fishing on and off ever since. Obviously we work and that when I was younger, that takes all the time up, you don't get to go as much. Everybody's got different times on their hand and things. So this video is about for beginners, people starting up, getting into the game of fishing, whatever age you are, whatever time you're starting and stuff, and at whatever stage you're at. What you don't need to do, for me, is you don't need to be spending this kind of money. So first thing, before you even get into carp fishing, for me, is like, is carp fishing really for you? Because there's all different types of fishing. There's match fishing, there's others. So carp fishing, it's a specialist thing, and it's a deer ender fishing. It can be a lot cheaper than what people are paying, but it is probably one of the dearest things, even though matchmen can pay a lot for the poles and stuff. I think carp fishing is one of the dearest sports in fishing. So stop and think, do you really want to go carp fishing? I mean, I'm not putting you off. For me, I think it's one of the greatest sports there is. So yeah, I love it, and I understand other people want to love it. But have a think, is it for you? Do you get time for it? Can you put the time and effort into it, what carp fishing needs? Do you know what I mean? Can you go every other weekend, or can you get a few times a year? So think, is it worth spending the money you're going to spend if you can already go 2 or 3 times a year? Probably not. You're probably just better off getting something really cheap and whatever, and just or even borrowing stuff if you're already going that long time. But if you can get a few times a year where you're working or whatever your situation is, and you want to get into carp fishing, that's fair enough. So that's where we're at up to now on that. Right, then into gear. Rods, reels we'll start with. Rods, let me just tell you about carp rods. Today, back in 80s when I was fishing for carp rods, they were 8 stiff, they had strong test curves on them, they were like fucking broom angles, I'm being honest, they were shite. Some people probably had some better ones what had money, but when I was younger in my teens, they all seemed to be stiff carp rods, you know what I mean? Didn't have a lot of playing them, enough, but not like today. Today you're still getting that your £3 test curve or more, but you're getting a beautiful bend because it's got a through action what goes all the way through rods now, what they didn't used to have in our day. So even don't be scared of your test curve. You want to, my opinion on a test curve on a rod, we'll get to that, is if you're carp fishing, I'd go at least £3 test curve, unless all you want to do is small, tiny places where there ain't big carp in, and the biggest carp in them go up to £10 or something, and you're never going to go for out bigger. Then you don't need a £3 test curve. You can go for small, and you'll enjoy the fishing, because the smaller the test curve, the more you'll feel the fish on it. So if you're never going to go for bigger carp, and you just have to, like, stepping up a bit from match fishing, and you're thinking, well, I want to go for, there's only £10 in these places I'm going, I'm never going to go anywhere else. You don't need a £3 test curve. But overall, you're better off with a £3 test curve, because you probably at some time, if you get into carp fishing and enjoy it. One of the things with carp fishing, what we all do, we all want bigger carp. That's the thing. Everybody says, what's your PB, what you had, what this. That's another thing. Sorry for me swearing, I'm just going to be who I am. Does my fucking nutting sometimes. I'm on loads of carp fishing sites. I've been out a long time. Old tips, rigs, there's loads on Facebook with carp fishing. And so much, I see young lads put a picture up, and I'll be honest, carp might be £10 and they say like it's my first 20 or my first 15. Now I can tell straight away looking it's not that. But there's no need to start getting nasty textures to that young lad fishing. It might not have got proper scales, it might not have got no scales. It might have got some scales what are just completely out. And not everybody realises, but your net and your waistling and your retainer, they weigh something. So a lot of people, when they first start carping, they put it in that retainer, your sling, and most of them from as little as £2 up to probably £3.5 what they can weigh wet, depending on your mech and what they are and size. So you have to deduct that off. So if you've caught a £10 fish and you've got one of old fashions what weighs some of them weigh up to £4 soaked, so you might have soaked it in, which you should do for fish. So that's all drenched. You put your fish in it, your fish is drenched, you stick it on your scales. The scales are a bit dodgy. It might come up at £15. So that kid thinks it's £15. He's already just got into fishing. Don't all have a go at him, lads. Come on, have a bit of something about you, because I'll tell you what, you know then what do? Honestly, I could do with 10 minutes with you, because when I get me stressed out, I'm bipolar, I could do with 10 minutes with people like, oh, what's got to, never got no nice to say with fishing. Fishing, when I went, that's another thing I'm rabbiting on. We're all about enjoying yourself and open out other people. Now there's still 80% is out there what do that, but it's 20% an absolute knobheads what's got into the game. But I'll argue, it don't matter what fish you put on, that's Photoshop, that's not a rate weight. You're dreaming, that's not a weight. And I've seen people put them on what they say it's £20, and I'd say it was £20. And then you get an idiot said, have a look, if it's £8, I'm thinking that's a 20 all day, so it can go other way. There's idiots out there, so don't let that put you off when you're just getting to beginning. And if you're getting any of these fishing sites, because it is putting off, it'd get me mad, I'll be honest. It's wrong thing to be saying to me, or it gets me mad. I mean, I don't get shit anymore, I'm older, I don't fuck what people think, well, I've caught size, weight, not interested. I do it because I enjoy it. But back in the day, if I'd have been on and I'd caught something and I thought that was weight, and people start slagging you like they do on these sites, not on all sites, but every site's got them. There's not one site out here without a knobhead in it, but they do filter them out and get rid of them, which is good. But anyway, be aware of that. So for me, on rod, got long-winded again, and a rod, you want, depending on what kind of fishing you're doing, I would always go for a £3 test curve. Now, if you're going for getting more into it and you want to really start casting out further, the more test curve you've got, the more kick you've got to get right out. But you can get far with a £3 test curve. You know what I mean? It's not that much a difference when you start with 3 1/4, 3 1/2, £4 test curve for spod and all that. You don't really need it. Don't be paying extra money for spod rods. That's all bollocks. You don't need it. So do your rod. If you've got a £3 test curve and another £3 test curve rod, use that as your spodding rod. You don't have to buy a separate rod for spodding, whatever. You don't ever fish with. It's called a spodding rod and all that bollocks. Do none of that in my day. When you were spodding, you fished with one of your rods. You didn't have a spodding rod for it. It's all to get more money out of you. All bollocks. Carp tax, don't pay it. Don't pay your carp tax. Don't be fooled with it. Anyway, so on a rod, depending on where you go in different lakes, if you're going to small lakes, small venues, and if 80% of your fishing's that, I would say to you, a 9 or 10 foot carp rod is perfect with a £3 test curve. that will also get you, to be honest, that's a good starting point for carp fishing for anybody on watch as beginners. Go and get yourself a 9 or 10 foot rod. There's some right good extractable ones now, what go inside each other. So forget them, Cardi, brilliant. Sonic do them, Nash do them. They all do them now, to be honest. Sonic aren't that dear. Nash are a bit dear, then you start getting what you pay for, you know, with names and whatever else sometimes, whatever. But quality these days now, they're all good. So you don't have to pay more money for them. But I'd go for an extractor rod. What that means, an extractor rod, if you don't know, it falls down, it goes in itself. And so it's easy to get in your boot, so it makes life a lot easier for getting out fishing. So a 9 or 10 foot carp rod. Then you have to think, saying, right, what carp fishing am I doing? Do I just need one rod? Am I just going to enjoy it there and I just need one rod? If you're getting into it properly and you think to yourself, you're going to a carp venue, what's cost you £30 for a day, that usually means you can fish 2 or 3 rods. So if you can fish 2 or 3 rods and you're paying £30, fish 3 rods. So think about what you need. So if for beginners, if you're going to get into it properly, depending on what stage you are, if you're already starting, you're not really bothered over it, have 1 rod. If you're a bit more into it, get 2 rods. Most venues are 2 rods, but there's a hell of a lot of venues with 3 rods. So like, you can either have 1 rod if you're just playing about it more. If you want to be more into it, get your send 2. You're doubling your chances. Get 3 rods, you've even got more chance, and you set your rods out with that. So my advice on a beginner is a 9 or 10 foot carp rod. It'll do all angles. You can also on a big carp lake with that and all. You'll get a big cast out. That'll do it to angle any fish, any size catfish, whatever's in water. Don't think, oh, I need one what's like a brush on me. I need it. You don't. It's bollocks. Don't listen to what they tell you in them fucking tackle shops. It's a load of shit. If you've got a £3 test curve, you'll fetch any fish in that water. There's not a fish in fucking UK what a £3 test curve won't fetch him with an angler what knows what he's doing. Your next thing, so that's your rods. Do you know what I mean? Don't pay fruit nose for them. Let me tell you now, if you're starting out, one of the good things on all these fishing sites on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, is get on there and selling sites and all these sites. They're selling them. People get fed up in lockdown. Amount of people who had never been fishing before started fishing because of lockdown. They got money. Good luck to them. Do you know what I mean? They bought top range of gear to get it all. Lockdown finishes, they're back to work, or fishing work for them, to get rid of them. They've hardly been used. So you can get some rate deals. You might have got some what's going to pay top end rods, well or £100 odd a rod, and you can pick them up as cheap as 50 quid. So you're saving yourself an absolute fortune. And let me tell you, a second hand rod's just as good as a brand new rod. There's no fish under water go swimming about. I'm not going for that one, it's fucking second hand. I'm not going for this tackle, it's second hand. Don't make a fucking slight bit of difference. Come on, use your noggin. A second hand rod, all you're doing is saving yourself money, and you can go look at it. So a second hand one, if it's been looked after and it's in good nick, get yourself a second hand rod, you'll save yourself a fortune. And don't rush into rods. So there might be a rod you want, for instance, say there's a rod I wanted at 100 quid to buy in shop. I'll go on all these selling sites, I'll put in what I'm looking for, I'm in no rush. And eventually, honest truth, if it's an £100 rod, I'll probably get it for 20 or 30 quid if I take my time. Most of them will come at 50, one at half price. But if you take your time, there's always somebody out there desperate to sell it, or not bothered over it, or for whatever circumstances are selling it cheap. So my advice, get second hand and get your rods, and you can get more. You can buy 3 rods then instead of for price what you buy 1 or something. Do you know what I mean? So that's your rod sorted out. Reels, a lot more important than a rod reel. Rod's all right. The most important thing is reel. Now reels we don't cut down on reels. Opposite with reels. A reel, I'll say, spend what you can on a reel. Still buy second hand. Get one what looks like it's not had loads of hammer. Buy a second hand reel, save yourself money. I'm not saying go and buy new. That process still is for second hand. So go and get yourself a second hand reel, but get yourself a good pit reel. Do you know what I mean? Go and get your long distance reel. The reel you need for your style of fishing if you're getting into what cover it all. So if you're overgunned, it don't. If you've got a nice pit reel on and a decent spool on, if you're already going on a small lake, it doesn't hurt now. We can still catch just a few rods out. It's still going to work as good. But when you're playing that fishing, if you get a big fish, you're taking your low, the reel, the clutch, everything you need, the oscillation on how many turns it is to get it and everything, so much quicker. Don't cut back on price on reels. And to be honest, if you're going to buy out new, that's the only one I would maybe go for reels. But I prefer second hand. You can get some really good second hand, and they've looked after them. They've still got them in boxes. People clean them, maintain them. So there's no wrong with them, especially your Shimano's, and there's loads of reels out there, quality ones. Shimano's rate reels for me, but whatever. I mean, I've got Sonic reels at the minute. I've had all sorts. There's loads of good reels out there. They all compete with each other. But get a good reel, a good spool on it. Try and get your spare spool. Some of them come with. Then you can have 2 different types of line on it. So you're catered, you 2 minutes to swap it, or that's a good tip. So you're ready for any location. Do you know what I mean? You can have mono on one, braid on another, whatever. Just mix it about. You've got reel, you've got your spool, 2 minutes to switch them more. So on a reel, if you can afford it, and that, maybe get brand new ones when you've got a deal on it. If you're on a budget and you want to just save money, even if you're not on a budget, if you're loaded, not wrong with saving money, get quality second-hand ones. They're all out here if you look. So that's your reels with things. And right, let's have a look what else we're doing. So after that, you're going to need your bank sticks, aren't you, and your rod pods. So what do you go for? Bank sticks is basically 2 sticks. What you get, so one will have an alarm on it. What you screw in, you put it down. It's a single stick. You know what I mean? That's not it. That's just a thing. But I'm just giving you. It's a single stick. You screw it on it. You put it down. Then your other one's got your butt, your rest foot end of your rod, your butt end, and that'll clip into it. On me, they're important. Get one what grips it. Do you know what I mean? There's all different types out there. I've got loads of different types. I like the ND ones I've got, which are magnetic, and it goes round it and it locks in place. So it finds its own way back on it. I recommend them, but I've got all lot. They all work, but don't have them loose. Have one what grips your rod. Reason for that is it helps on a big tackle when it's flying it off. It keeps that rod in place more, so you're not going to lose your rod. And on your reels, you have what's called a bait run. 2 different types. You have one on front, one on back, which is a clip, which is a bit more old school, what I was brought up with Shimano, and I was used to them. And then over the last 5 or 6 years, I've changed to it being on front, and now I'm used to front. Whatever you want to have, they both work same. And it's basically, you set them up, and it allows your fish to run. So when you're on an alarm, your fish runs, and that does it. Learn your setup on that, and that's how you'll go, and that'll get it set. That'll get it set running. So give us a second, I'll show you different types of rod pods and things. 1 minute. There, I'm back. That's your bank stick. That ones I'm telling you about. So that's not a rod end, but similar thing. That'll lock into it, stops it moving. So that kind of thing, which will grip it well, stops you losing your rod. Hundreds of different types here, but get them tied. Don't have them where it's loose. These just adjust. The cheapest chips, you can get them all over the place, different ones. So they're your bank sticks. Your other one's your rod pod. Take me ages to mess about getting old rod pod out and showing you, so I'll just put a picture of that on, which will be coming up here. So you know what difference. So your rod pod and your bank sticks, that's down to choice on how you're doing it. Also alarms. They're all the same thing. You can pay £600 odd now for your top of your range alarms. You can get them as cheap as 50 quid, which is, for 50 quid you'll get a set of 2-way receiver. They'll do the same thing. An alarm is to let you know, but a fish has took your bait when you're not ready. Obviously, day if you're watching your rod, still have your alarms on, but you're watching your rod, should be near your rod. But they're mainly for night time, or if you're cooking, or if you're taking your eye off at rod for a bit, your alarm goes in, it's indicator, so it indicates a fish is on. So beep, 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 beeps off, you get it, or little beeps if something's round it, or liners. That's the kind of thing you've got to learn. You can have liners which are fish just passing, or whatever it is. So you're on it with that. So you pick your alarms. Same again, you can buy some fantastic alarms second hand. I've never ever bought brand new alarms, and I've had all lot. I've had Delkins, I've had Fox, I've had all lot. I've always bought them second hand, took my time, got on what's in right good quality. When you go in and buy second hand, you can test them, try them all out, make sure they're doing what you should do, and you're saving yourself a fortune. So like, say today, your Delkins will be, you can pay for all new ones if you start adding old swingers for them, but just, I don't know, say 500 quid for instance, set of 3 Delkins with receiver. There'd be more than that, but whatever, 500 quid. Second hand, I guarantee you, I could pick them up me from 2 to 250 on rate day, on looking for them. Same with Foxes, they're quality, or whatever you want. Do you know what I mean? I've actually got Carp Spirit at the minute, they're high-end ones, and I got them unbelievably cheap off of me, and I tried them out. I've been using them for last year, and I'm not using my Delkins at the minute. I've given my Delkins a break, and I'm using them, and I'm happy to do exactly what they do on tin, and they work for me. They've been out in all weathers, so So I'm not bothered. I could look better on Bankside. That's another thing you get. You get carp, what we call carp tarts. Some people got up money, they'll buy everything they fucking see on telly, every advert, and we all can get dragged into that, but they'll buy everything you see. You can go on Bankside and go, fucking hell, look at him. He's got all gear on, he's got everything done, down to all lot, fucking clothing, shoes, boots, socks, you name it, top of range rods, reels, all lot and thing. Now some of them are good anglers, you will get some, but there's no wrong with spending money in the sport you love. Do you know what I mean? I'm not knocking that. If you work hard for your money, spend your money, you know what you want, that's down to you. But I'm on about, for beginners and my opinion, you don't need to. Do you know what I mean? You can buy second hand, it don't catch you, but it's all about catching fish. Don't catch you more fish because you've got the best end gear. Some people think it gives them a little bit of advantage. Some think slightly. That's down to whatever. I think it all counts on your last bit or your bait and your setup at bottom. I think you could have worse rod, worse reel, worse setup going, but if your last bit what's underwater is perfect, you'll catch more than bloke inside you who's got all best possible gear. And if his setup, the last bit what fish you're seeing, your last 10-inch or your line, yoke, your bomb, and how that's set up. If it's ain't set up as good as one with crap rod and reel, but he knows, he's got the knowledge and knowing how to do it, he'll beat him every day. So you don't have to pay for top end. It's like say boxing. You can go and buy Ray gloves, what cost you 200 odd quid, boxing gloves for it in bags with on whatever it is, top at range, and then you can go and get something like Everlast, sorry, what are cheap as chips. Do you know what I mean? But it's still quality made and you still do it. Not make you a better boxer. Do you know what I mean? But if you want to spend more money on your sport, that's down to choice and you're entitled to. A lot of people do, they work hard for it. It's what they love and they do it. And when I can afford it, I buy it myself. But I always buy second hand or deals. So that's what this is about. I'm trying to give tips on that. Let's see where we're at. Done bang sticks. Right, so we're going to need then, you've got your rods and reels, you're going to need an unhooking mat or a cradle. Personally, I'd try and go straight for a cradle if you can. Unhooking mats are alright if you're playing it, again, like I said, on small lakes with small carp. But even down to them, if you, for carp care, invest in a cradle. Do you know what I mean? Which is basically what it sounds if you don't know what it is. It's like if you imagine a little cot, like that's why they call it a cradle, that's its nickname. It stops it falling out, the fish won't fall out, it's deep in, it's got vents on bottom for water to drip through and everything for it. Then you get a bucket, pour it on it. You can take your time grabbing it, being able to lift it up for your fish because everything's there. Whereas a mat, you can throw it centre bar, it can land on bankside, it can hurt itself. So I would go straight to a cradle if you can. Try and get money for a second-hand cradle because they're not cheap. You can pay silly money for cradles, you can pay up to 100 quid. Your average price for a cradle is probably 50 quid. But if you take your time, you look at the selling site, you can pick them up for 20, 25 quid. Good cradle, do you know what I mean? Second-hand, don't matter if it's been used, who cares, do you know what I mean? A cradle, and a lot of cradles have got everything with it. A lot of them have got little like pockets in now, so you can keep your carp care when you've got a cut to put that on after. Some of them's even, mine's got what comes over, what stops fish jumping about if you're leaving it a minute, what covers it all, but then it also comes back in itself. It's got padding in it for my knees to bend down when being a big lad. So there's good ones out there, all different ones. You'll pick what you want. So you get your sin, an unhooking macking cradle. Then you're gonna need luggage. So think of what rod you've got, don't make a mistake, ain't wrong luggage for wrong rod you've got. So like we were saying earlier, if you've got 9-10 foot rod extractor, they do an old hole exactly for that. So look for that, try and get right one for it. It don't have to be the same mech, but you can look for the same mech if you want on second hand sites, will do it. Or always look on internet, eBay, there's always sales on, try and get your same done. If you want it matching, which a lot of people do, and then your luggage, what you're going to put it in, what you put your tackle box and everything in, there's no wrong with that, but you can still buy second hand and have it all matching. You don't have to go fruit nose for it. So they're my tips. Like I said, this video is because I've seen it, and I've seen it times many, where young lads are going into it, they just want to get into it, and in a tackle shop, that's their job to sell you as much as they can. But you don't need to pay fruit nose when you're starting out and everything. You honestly don't. So I hope this video, what I'm doing, helps that kind of thing, what I'm saying. So a cradle, your old holes, you don't have to pay front nose for it. Right, other important bit, it's a very important bit for me, more than your old holes and thing, your tackle box. Now, that's what catches your fish. Your tackle box, your last bit, what I told you, your last so many inches of your rod with your bomb, your hook, your setup, That's all going to be in your tackle box. There's you can pay for those for tackle boxes, same again. You go through and you can get things as cheap as this. Just got this one out. What I use now and again when I'm just going on with kids or whatever. This is a work zone, so there's not much in it because, like I say, it's not the proper tackle box. It's just a good idea. It's got all different compartments for all move and get whatever it is you want it to get. So you can alter all them, what's in it, put them how you want it. So you can alter what tackle you've got in it with lengths and that, you know, scissors or fit in one compartment or alter it. And it's double-sided. So you've got it that side and that side. Now that there, I've got all bits for it, obviously there are too many, but go in there. So you can pick the lengths and how you want it and how you want your setup on it. Now this, bought this down Skegness, brand spanking new when you have in one of their shops what does thing. It's called Work Zone. It's actually for screws and bits and bobs of that. For that, that's what they're made for. Very perfect for a tackle box, and I think it was 12 quid. I mean, it's solid. You could drop that, done it. I've had it years. Do you know what I mean? 12 quid. Just open this side up again. Got two lots of openers, and like I say, you've got these to lean it down, so they'll go in where you want them to go. Like I'll just stick in one in here for an example for you. So that'll slot into there and go down where you've just seen it. And you put them where you want to go. So you don't have to pay for those. But having said that, I've got the top of range tackle boxes, and that's because I didn't pay fruit nose for them. Like I said, they come up on selling sites, and to be honest, I'm not saying it bragging. I'm a bit obsessed with fishing. Like I say, I don't buy no, but I think I've got about 7, maybe 8 tackle boxes, all different types. Most of them's full because I never stop buying bits. It's the end bit for me on tackle bits draws me in, and I get it. I've tried sorting some out over there. I've got it because my worst thing is we're having that many tackle boxes. I go and something's not working on bankside. I want to change something, and I've got some in one tackle box out, put in another, and I'm thinking, fuck that. I've got them little bands I'm going to change over to and put on there, so I'll have to think of another way of doing it, or that one in there, or this is there, or my super glue in that one, it went in this one, and that. They've all got the bobby needles, they all have my basics in. So anyway, in a tackle box, what you need is you want to be getting like your baiting needles, you want your end stuff, so you want your rigs. Now when you're just starting out, it's great to start learning how to do rigs, but don't jump straight into that. It's like, I've seen them in here, there's some in here. So on a rig, I don't know what's in here because I'm not reading it for a bit, right? So for instance, that's a Fox size 8 reflex combo, £20. So there you go. I don't know how much they are. What is the price in there? £3 that way. So you get 2 in there for £3, £1.50. So a bargain really. And then on that it's saying you've got your stoppers, you've got your swivel, quick change link. You've got everything you need there. So you can go on bankside, set your sen up and put that straight on. So when you don't know about rigs, that's as good as anybody's going to be using on bankside. Do you know what I mean? They don't stick these out there, Fox, unless they're quality. Same with Nash and whatever you're using, all that, and they're doing. There's another in the side here that's talking about Nash. So that's a Nash. What's this one? That's a skin link, dark silk for different things. It's a twister LS rig size 8. So there's a few things in here, different bits and bobs. Because when they come up at rate prices, I'll get them. There's always now and again people selling these when they're selling the tackle. I've gone along and they're selling fishing tackle, and when I'm buying, I'll be honest, I get these for usually for about £1. And when they're £1, I'll buy them, because there's times now as I've got older, I like tying my own rigs. I can do them in house, put my glasses on and do them. I can do them on bankside with glasses, but as I've got older, it is getting harder, and there's a lot of times where it's nice to just fucking be able to grab one what I've confidence in, like I do like the Fox ones, Nash ones are good. So you'll find what you like, they're all different, and you can pick them up cheap. Even in shop they're only about £2.50, £3. Do you know what I mean? And that's sometimes you get a set of 2 for that. So that's your M1. Then you need your tubing, your braid, your hook links, your bombs. Do you know what I mean? Your swivels, all that are necessarily what you need. But what you can get, and is good, you can buy a tackle box with all gear in second hand. There's so many come up, that's probably why I've got so many. They come up and I think, fucking hell, a bargain. because you'll see these and somebody might be selling one and they might want 80 quid, 100 quid, and at first you might think that's a lot of money, you know, for a small tackle box. But when you take your time and you see how much items, small items in here, and they cost a fortune, all your little bits cost a fortune. In fact, I was sorting out over there, just give me 1 minute, I'll show you some crap. Right, when you go in fishing for a few days, another thing what you can get is a power pack. So if you're going for 2 or 3 days and you're thinking, right, well, I want to charge my battery up and that, my phones and your stuff, what you've got, you think, what can I use, what am I doing? You can have this, what I've had years, which I absolutely love. You can make these, you can go on YouTube and learn how to do it. My stepson made me this one, so it's all lights up. You've got your switches, you plug it all in, so that's a cigarette lighter, USBs that side, just stick it in. So got your lights on it, your night lights. It tells you how much battery it's got in it. It's no 28 minutes because it's dead. I ain't used it for quite a long time once charging up. So there's all that, and that charge up has a motorbike battery in it. You charge that up before you go, and it lasts us a long time, and it's a brilliant piece of kit. And you can get these, if you don't want to make one, they sell them on Facebook. You can pick them up for about 50 quid what somebody's made one. If you want to make it yourself, it works out a bit cheaper if you're good enough to do it. Apparently it's easy enough to do. I'm not good with all like that, but if you're clever enough, there's loads of videos on YouTube how to make them, and that'll keep you going for a week. Also, you get things like this, what my stepson bought me. Now, this, believe it or not, will outmatch this, and there's no weight to it. It's got its solar panel on, but it's I don't know what it is. It's down to what's inside it, the power pack thing. So once you've charged this, even though it'll trickle itself up like it's doing now, so I'm outside with a bit of sun, it's flashing already, but that will outlast that. I've tried them both, and there's no weight on that, so there's no to it. You don't need to be buying these big power packs and going cost fishing to it and Fox the one, do you know what I mean, and all that, and you'll pay 100 odd quid for it and thing. Now if you want name again and you've got money, go and do it. I'm not telling you what to spend your money on, but you can get that for a lot cheaper, and it'll last just as long probably as Fox one. That'll last as long as Fox one. People saying it doesn't, trust me it does. I'll find out what it is, and I think it were only 30 something quid, and it's a rate, got a rate battery thing with it. I don't know how it all works, I'll be honest, I'm not that technically minded. If my stepson would tell you why it were, so you can get something like this what aren't as good. This is a rate good, and it lasts as ages. You get loads and loads of phone chargers out of it. Get loads of phone chargers out of that, and all right, you get loads of phone chargers out of your Fox one and your other mix and that out there, but you're paying money for them. You don't need to pay for new ones. All about saving and having stuff, and that looks nice and carpy and all, doesn't it? That's why I've always liked that one. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, back down to arm, it's an old artillery box in it, what they used to keep weapons in. So that's just another tip for you. Right then, back again. We're talking crap, aren't we? Well, it's not crap, it's essentials really. So I've got stuff all the time. Like I said, I've got a lot of tackle boxes. This is a mess, but it's true how it is. If you look at that, it's a tray with a load of crap in it. So over there, there's bits and bobs all over the place. They're all thrown in. I'm not the cleanest of anglers. I've got people who go with brilliant. My mate Gerard Williams is unbelievable. He's a great angler, but he's a bit OCD, so his tackle is absolutely mint. He knows he can put his hand in everything. I wish I were like that. I try and be like that. Every now and again I sort my tackle box out like that, but I'm being honest, by the time I've done it, messing about, it never goes back like that, and it always needs sorting. Well, listen, my tackle box, these are just stuff what needs doing. What I've come back, put things on side. There's also, it's not good. There's bits and bobs are also, it's just rig form. But for instance, it's like on this rig form, I bought these up today in sale. So your first bit goes down in 3 different things. The first one was $5.99, which is your sticker. Then it went to $2.99, then it went to $1.75. Now that's perfect. I'll buy that because of how cheap it is. Baiting needles are always coming up when you're buying on things. First aid for your fish, bits and bobs, controller floats, bugs, different bugs, Ronnie rigs. Now these have got, this were good for instance, they're on at $2.25 it says on sticker. I got them for £1 a piece. Bloke what was selling them. Now I can make them, I do make them, you know, for £1 a piece. Who wants to fuck about making them? £1 a piece, 3 hooks in there, done all that, there's no wrong with that, and I'll just add that and make that into whatever rig I want it. So I'm bobbling on. £1 again for them. Do you know what I mean? That's nice zigs because it's people selling them when they've had enough. They're selling the tackle box or bits and bobs. Get on Facebook, have a look. There's some great bargains, and I mean bargains. And if you type in what you're searching for, like tackle boxes full, or end game, what we call end game. What's end game? Because it's your last bit of fishing. Loads of bits come up, and there's always bargains. And it's better if you can go and buy old tackle box. Knock them down. I'm not scared of trying to knock somebody down. I don't mean no offence with it. Same when people buy it for me, I'll get some as cheap as I can, and you can buy a tackle box full. I bought them as cheap as 50 quid. For a good one, you can get them 70, 80 quid. Now, if you had to empty that tackle box, and I'm on about a good tackle box now, so like a Nash tackle box or a Fox tackle box. Well, tackle box itself might be 40 or 50 quid. Do you know what I mean? Just for a box empty. And then when you've got it all through with all your hook links, all your different braids, all your different hooks, all your different, everything what's in it, what you need, it'll come to a fortune. If you went like that with calculator and did it, it might be 300 quid or something like that, because it costs us. Ask anybody what knows fishing, you go into a tackle shop, you don't want much, you come out with a few bits, got a carrier bag, and you think, I've spent 72 fucking quid on a carrier bag with a few bits and bobs in. Do you know what I mean? So second hand stuff like that, get it, and it saves you an absolute fortune. I'm always looking at car boots are brilliant. I love going to car boot. There's loads on there. So these are tips for people to save money and thing. I'll get this out of the way because I'll end up dropping it, and there's hooks and all sorts on there. Same with that again. Stick them in again, but I mean, swingers, different ones. Car boots can pick them up and they want £2 a piece. I could pay £20 each for them. Do you know what I mean? Some rate bargains. That's get on car boots. Get on thing. Where are we up to? We've gone up to tackle boxes. How to get them things. Also, your landing net stuff behind me. Your nets. You need more than one. So when they come up at rate price, I'm always looking for nets. There's 3 different ones in there. I've got about 6 different nets, different sizes. Most some big ones, but different sizes. About 3 different landing nets. Somewhat fold away. That's one laid behind me. That's a full length one. So that's obviously going to take a lot of room up in your car. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a full length one. They're brilliant, sturdy, really good ones. So depending on what you're going in, but they're nice when they fold down and break down for space and stuff. So your landing net pole, stuff like that, your tackle box and thing. Then you want to know where you're going fishing. So when you see people and they're catching £20 fish and more, if you're going to a little lake and your lake's biggest fish it's got in it's £10, you can't catch a 20, can you? You can't catch all bigger than that £10 because it's in. So when you see people catching on Facebook and all these sites, and you'll see people like, such as myself, I've had a £60 carp, sounds great. I didn't catch it in the UK, I caught it in France on first night being there. It was a brilliant fish, brilliant experience, and I loved it, but that's because they had them in the water. They got carp bigger than that where I went and fished. So like, you can only catch what's in water. So when you see these big fish, don't think you're doing something wrong. You've got to pay a bit of money and go to them places where them big fish are. So wherever you're from, I'm Sheffield, South Yorkshire. Trent View's a good one I like going to. It's got carp up to £40. There's loads of 30s, so you stand a good chance of 30. On one of the videos we did with Jason, he caught 2 30s in a day. My pal Gerard's had plenty. He went last week. He didn't have a video where I wish he had. Went on his own. I couldn't afford to go on a bit of budget. He went for nearly a week, about 6 days. I think he ended up with 33 carp, and he had some rate fish. So it's a place for fish as well. But there's not just Trent View. There's carp lakes all over what you can recommend in South Yorkshire area. I'm not just going on about Trent View, but I do like the place. And there's a lot. There's loads and loads out there. Do you know what I mean? We fish Ledger Lakes, which is completely opposite. That's a small venue, but it's got 4 carp at £30 in it. Now, it's not a big lake, but it's a brilliant social lake. It's got cabins like behind me, what I'm in now. So it's in, so you can fish straight out of these cabins like this one. You get in and you straight in, whack in front of me, bankside, and you do, and you're off fishing, and you come out, and that Ledger Lakes has got a big double bed in it with mattress already in, so you don't even have to take your bed chair. So it's great to take with Mrs. Got fridge in it, stuff like that. Trent View's got a cabin. In their cabin, it's got a fridge, got a television, got electricity. All these cabins, a lot of them out there now. They do a lot of luxury for people. You know what I mean? When you're getting older, if you want to take your missus, you want to take your kids, you want a bit more luxury, you can get them. So watch out for them. They're good to do. Other thing is clothing. At the minute I've got Fox on, just because I'm out fishing and whatever. Folks, I think I'll put them on today. But in 80s when I went, I still got it now. Clothing we wore for fishing were army clothing, and even now, for me, it's still the best stuff you can get hold of. It's better than this, and it's better than this, and it's better than anything. This is for Nash, whatever. I love Nash and that, and it's some raid clothing, but you're paying for it. You're paying your money out for names. Now on army gear, you can go to these ex-army surpluses, and they're made for warfare, so they're made to last. The material, the padding on the arms, all well you need them, on your knees for bending down, all your stuff. And it's camouflage good gear, so it's all carping gear. That's why carping's green, because we followed on from army. So everybody who went carping, it was always green. We all wore army clothes. Anybody says different, telling shit. Back in the day when carping first got in, we all wore army clothes, we all wore green, and that's where green comes from, and that's where camouflage comes from. It comes from army, and you'll see it all camouflage here. You've all copied. But you can go straight to original source, which is in army stores, which I've done. I've got army clothing, t-shirts, coats, hats, bottoms. They do all lot. They do no second-hand whatever. I buy second-hand. I don't get shit that somebody's wore it. Do you know what I mean? They've been cleaned, they've been done. You wash them, you send them, go home. Do you know what I mean? Do them. Or you can buy brand new, cheap enough in army stores. Whichever one you want to do, ever get it. But you can save yourself a fortune. Your army trousers and that, you can pick up for a tenner. Whereas if you're going to get a named one, and for that kind of quality, you're going to be paying 50, 60 quid. That's the savings you can get, and you look just as good on Bankside with all that army gear on and stuff. You look, well, I like seeing it. Do you know what I mean? So that's another tip on clothes and things you don't need to pay. So anyway, I hope this video's been all right for beginners or anybody else watching. Thanks for watching us. Please, if you like the video, subscribe. It really helps. We've just started it properly this year, and it's going places. We're going to be doing prizes every single month. We had his first one other day, and he chose the boilies in a glug, and I went out to Nottingham to see him. Luckily we're in area. If you're in like the region, I'm Sheffield, I don't mind having a drive. So Chesterfield, Rotherham, Doncaster, Barnsley, Nottingham, I don't mind. I'll come out. If you don't mind, pass me and do a little video to say, yeah, I won it. Do you know what I mean? But if you're down London and whatever, we'll have to post it, you know, if you're too far away. But we've also got, but Gerard's been a bit busy at the minute. He's got the 5 kilo, which is still up, which we've put people's name in. When we get a chance, we're going to spin that off, find out who's won it. It's 5 kilo, a Nash bait, squid and scopex, which is a rate bait, and that's just for subscribing. So all subscribers, that's what you get. You get a chance all the time each month to do it. So please like, subscribe, help us on this channel. Other thing, there's going to be some big socials coming up where you can all come along with us. You can all come along. We have a great laugh on these socials. We're going to start doing regular, because so many people's getting in touch with me on Facebook and different sites where I run saying, can we come? Some of them's already come along, but we're going to be doing big socials where we get a proper catering wagon on, and we're going to put food on, drink on, and maybe have a match. We don't know how we're going to do it. There'll be prizes, but we're going to do it, and I'm sure we could fill 50 people or more on these socials with people what's already got in touch and want to come along and have a laugh. And that's because we don't take things too seriously. We take fishing seriously. So let me get that across, because some people might look at videos and think, like, such as Jason, on some videos, he don't do it on every video, and then again he'll have a drink. And on one at last one's going on, he didn't even fish, he had a drink. And I look back at video, and some people what's pulled will look and they see drunken state where and think it was dangerous. Now that is dangerous. Shouldn't be getting drunk like that round the lake. But there were 7 or 8 of us, what were all watching him. He didn't have a drink, and even when he walked down, we had somebody outside at water watching him. And I gave him my night up. I didn't socialise that first night because he got that drunk, because he was celebrating. So it was his business, if somebody celebrated. And he got really drunk. I don't blame him celebrating.
They call him Canvas
and I stayed in.
And then comes in, he's 65, 65 fights, 65 losses.
And we put a funny video. He said, what happens on Bankside, we'll put on Bankside. So you see 1 or 2 of him drunk and 4 no, but I'm just explaining myself with that bit. Do you know what I mean? But we do have a laugh on Bankside. We take fishing seriously. We're good to catch. We're not playing about it, that. We all want to catch, but we also enjoy the sun, and we're not up each other's arses. I like some carp men, they're good, you don't want to talk, whatever. That's not what we're about. If that's what you're about, probably social's not for you, because we have a good laugh, we have a good banter, and we help each other with fishing. A lot of us suffer from mental health problems or whatever problem we've got. Don't have to be that. People just anxiety or whatever, or we just want to get away. We're the group for you. If you're that way out, if you're up for a good laugh, you want to get out, do some big socials this year. When weather gets nicer, we're going to do in big uns. One of them's definitely going to be on Trentview, because it's big enough to hold us all, and we're going to have a big event on here, and we'll all go across, and it'll be a big social. There'll be prizes. There's going to be celebrities here, which is Carp Brook, my nephew who fishes with us anyway. He's part of Carp, he's part of Team Brook Fishing, so he comes with us anyway. But obviously a lot of people, oh, it's Carp Brook, he's world champion, they get that, they want to see him, they want autographs, and he's going to be fetching some more boxes along what's also world champions and different people. So there'll be some celebrities and some celebrity fishermen, do you know what I mean, what will be coming along with us, and people that we know what will be part of that social, what you might want autographs from and stuff, what we've done. So it's definitely worth doing. So, but you'll only be able to come to social if you're a subscriber. You've got to subscribe to the channel and help us out, and by helping us out, we can help you out by when we have these socials and put a lot of stuff on for you. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please share, tell people about this channel. We're just one big family here, we're all part of it. We want you to be part of the journey with us. So thanks for watching Team Brook Fishing. Until next time.